Then Jehovah said to Moses, cut 2 tablets of stone like the first one, like the first ones. And I will write upon the tablets the words which were on the first tablets, which you shattered. And be ready by the morning, and come up in the morning to Mount Sinai, and present yourself there to me on the top of the mountain. And no one shall come up with you, nor let anyone be seen anywhere on the mountain, nor let the flocks or herds graze in front of that mountain. So Moses cut 2 tablets of stone like the first ones. Then Moses rose up early in the morning and went up to Mount Sinai, just as Jehovah had commanded him. And he took 2 tablets of stone in his hand. And Jehovah descended in the cloud and took his place there with him, and proclaimed the name of Jehovah. Then Jehovah passed by before him and proclaimed, Jehovah, Jehovah, God compassionate and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in loving kindness and truth, keeping loving kindness with thousands of generations, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin. But he will by no means clear the guilty, but visits the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the grandchildren to the third and fourth generations. And Moses made haste and bowed to the ground and worshipped. And he said, if now I have found favor in your sight, O Lord, let the Lord please go in our midst. Although they are a stiff-necked people, pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance. And he said, now I hereby make a covenant before all your people. I will perform wonders such as have not been produced in all the earth, nor among any of the nations. And all the people among whom you are shall see the work of Jehovah, for it is an awesome thing that I will do with you. Observe what I am commanding you today. I will drive out before you the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites. Be careful that you do not make any covenant with the inhabitants of the land against which you are going, lest they become a snare in your midst. But their altars you shall tear down, and their pillars you shall shatter, and their Asherahs you shall cut down. For you shall not worship any other God, for Jehovah, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. Lest you make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go as harlots after their gods and sacrifice to their gods, and someone invites you, and you eat of his sacrifice, and you take some of his daughters for your sons, and his daughters go as harlots after their gods, and make your sons go as harlots after their gods. You shall not make for yourself any molten gods. You shall keep the feast of unleavened bread. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, as I commanded you, at the appointed time in the month of Abib. Oh, Jesus. For the month of Abib you came out from Egypt. All that opens the womb is mine, even the first male produced by all your livestock of cattle or sheep, and the first offspring of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb. But if you do not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. All the firstborn of your sons you shall redeem, and they shall not appear before me empty. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall cease from labor. Even in plowing time and in harvest time you shall cease from labor. And you shall keep the feast of weeks, that is, of the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and the feast of ingathering at the turn of the year. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before the Lord Jehovah, the God of Israel. For I will drive out nations before you and enlarge your borders, and no one shall covet your land when you go up to appear before Jehovah, your God, 3 times in a year. You shall not slaughter the blood of my sacrifice with anything leavened, nor shall the sacrifice of the feast of the Passover remain all night until the morning. The first of the first fruits of your ground you shall bring to the house of Jehovah your God. You shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. And Jehovah said to Moses, write these words, for according to the speaking of these words I have made a covenant with you and with Israel. And he was there with Jehovah 40 days and 40 nights. He did not eat bread, and he did not drink water. And he wrote upon the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. And when Moses came down from Mount Sinai, and the 2 tablets of the testimony were in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mountain, Moses did not know that the skin of his face shone by reason of his speaking with him. And when Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, at that time the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come near him. But Moses called to them, and Aaron and all the rulers in the assembly returned to him. And Moses spoke to them, and afterward all the children of Israel came near. And he gave them in commandment all that Jehovah had spoken with him on Mount Sinai. And when Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil over his face. But whenever Moses went in before Jehovah to speak with him, he would remove the veil until he came out. And when he came out and spoke to the children of Israel what he had commanded, the children of Israel would see the face of Moses, that the skin of Moses' face shone. Then Moses would put the veil back on his face until he went in to speak with him. And Moses gathered all the assembly of the children of Israel and said to them, these are the words which Jehovah has commanded you to do. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day you shall have a Sabbath of complete rest, holy to Jehovah. Whoever does any work on it shall be put to death. You shall kindle no fire in any of your dwellings on the Sabbath day. And Moses spoke to all the assembly of the children of Israel, saying, this is what Jehovah had commanded, saying, take from among yourselves a heave offering to Jehovah. Whoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it. The heave offering of Jehovah, gold and silver and bronze and blue and purple and scarlet strands and fine linen and goat's hair and ram skins dyed red and porpoise skins and acacia wood and oil for the light and spices for the anointing oil and for the fragrant incense and onyx stones and stones to be set for the ephod and for the breastplate. And let every man who is wise in heart among you come and make all that Jehovah has commanded. The tabernacle, its tent and its covering, its clasps and its boards, its bars, its pillars and its sockets, the ark and its poles, the expiation cover and the veil of the screen, the table and its poles and all its utensils, and the bread of the presence, and the lampstand for the light and its utensils and its lamps, and the oil for the light, and the altar of incense and its poles, and the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, and the screen for the entrance at the entrance of the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering, with its grating of bronze, its poles, and all its utensils, the laver and its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars and its sockets, and the screen for the gate of the court, the pegs of the tabernacle and the pegs of the court and their cords, the finely worked garments for ministering in the sanctuary, the holy garments for Aaron, the priest and the garments of the sons of his sons for them to serve as priests. And all the assembly of the children of Israel departed from the presence of Moses. And they came everyone whose heart lifted him up, and everyone whose spirit made him willing, and brought the heave offering of Jehovah for the work of the tent of meeting, and for all its service, and for the holy garments. And they came, men together with women, as many as were of a willing heart, and brought nose rings and earrings and signet rings and pendants, all kinds of articles of gold. Even every man who waved a wave offering of gold to Jehovah, and every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet strands and fine linens and goats' hairs and ram skins dyed red and porpoise skins brought them. Everyone who offered a heave offering of silver and bronze brought the heave offering of Jehovah, and every man with whom was found acacia wood for any work of the surface brought it. And all the women who were wise in heart spun with their hands and brought what they had spun, the blue and the purple and the scarlet strands and the fine linen. And all the women whose heart lifted them up in wisdom spun the goat's hair. And the leaders brought the onyx stones and the stones for setting for the ephod and for the breastplate, and the spices and the oil for the light and for the anointing oil and for the fragrant incense. The children of Israel brought a free will offering to Jehovah, every man and woman whose heart made them willing to bring for all the work which Jehovah had commanded through Moses to be done. And Moses said to the children of Israel, "See, Jehovah has called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, and he has filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, and with knowledge, and with all kinds of workmanship, even to fashion skillful designs, to work in gold and in silver and in bronze, and in the cutting of stones for setting, and in the carving of wood, to work in all kinds of skillful workmanship. And he has put in his heart to teach, both he and Oholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. He has filled them with wisdom of heart to work all kinds of workmanship, of an engraver and of a skillful workman, and of an embroiderer, in blue and in purple, and in scarlet strands and in fine linen, and of the weaver, even of those who do all kinds of workmanship, and of those who fashion skillful designs. And Bezalel and Oholiab and every man who is wise in heart, in whom Jehovah has put wisdom and understanding to know how to do all the work for the service of the sanctuary, shall work according to all that Jehovah has commanded. And Moses called Bezalel and Oholiab and every man who is wise in heart, in whose heart Jehovah had put wisdom, even everyone whose heart lifted him up, to come to the work and to do it. And they received from Moses every heave offering which the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary, to carry it out. And they still kept bringing to him free will offerings every morning. And all the wise men who did all the work of the sanctuary came, every man from his work which he was doing, and spoke to Moses, saying, "The people are bringing much more than enough for the service of the work which Jehovah commanded us to do." And Moses gave commandment, and a proclamation was passed throughout the camp, saying, "Let neither man nor woman produce any more material for the heave offering of the sanctuary." So the people were restrained from bringing, for the material they had was sufficient and more than enough for all the work to do it. And all the wise in heart among those who did the work made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet strands with cherubim, the work of a skillful workman. Bezalel made them. The length of each curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. All the curtains had the same measurement. And he joined 5 curtains to one another, and the other 5 curtains he joined to one another. And he made loops of blue strands upon the edge of the one curtain at the end in the set. Likewise, he made them in the edge of the outermost curtain in the second set. He made 50 loops on the one curtain, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was in the second set. The loops were opposite one another. Oh, Lord Jesus. And he made 50 clasps of gold and joined the curtains to one another with the clasps. So the tabernacle became one. And he made curtains of goat's hair for a tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains he made in all. The length of each curtain was 30 cubits, and the width of each curtain 4 cubits. The 11 curtains had the same measurement. And he joined 5 of the curtains by themselves, and 6 of the curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was outermost in the set. And 50 loops he made upon the edge of the curtain which was outermost in the second set. And he made 50 clasps of bronze to join the tent together, that it might become one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram's skins dyed red, and a covering of porpoise skins above it. And he made the boards of the tabernacle of acacia wood standing up. 10 cubits was the length of a board, and 1.5 cubits the width of each board. Each board had 2 tenons joined to one another. Thus he did for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards for the south side southward. And he made 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for its 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under the next board for its 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, he made 20 boards, and there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board and 2 sockets under the next board. And for the rear of the tabernacle westward, he made 6 boards. And 2 boards he made for the corners of the tabernacle in the rear, and they were double below. And at its top, they were completely joined to a single ring. Thus he did to both of them for the 2 corners. And there were 8 boards with their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under every board. And he made bars of acacia wood, 5 of the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle at the rear westward. And he made the middle bar to pass through in the center of the boards from end to end. And he overlaid the boards with gold and made their rings of gold as holders for the bars, and overlaid the bars with gold. And he made the veil of blue and purple and scarlet strands and fine twined linen. He made it with cherubim, the work of a skillful workman. And he made for it 4 pillars of acacia, and overlaid them with gold. Their hooks were of gold, and he cast for them 4 sockets of silver. And he made a screen for the entrance of the tent, of blue and purple and scarlet strands, and fine twined linen, the work of an embroiderer. And its 5 pillars with their hooks, and he overlaid their capitals and their connecting rods with gold, and their 5 sockets were of bronze.